Yo, everyday Superpower signing in, live and large. Body language and non-verbal communication. Click subscribe for your daily food for thought. The three wise monkeys. One monkey can't see, conceals the eyes with the palms of the hand. The other monkey can't hear, is representative of not being able to hear, so has the fingers in the ears. And the other monkey can't speak, so symbolically, the hand of the monkey is raised upon in front of the monkey's mouth. Okay? That has a direct parallel to human nonverbal communication. Okay? When we are children, we represent and symbolically use these behaviors in our communications. When a young child is shocked and can't believe what they've seen, or they are overwhelmed with joy because the parent has just brought back a baby kitten for them, or a PlayStation, or so on and so forth, the child will gasp and hold the hand in front of the mouth and freeze momentarily in response. Okay? Whereas when a child is hearing something it might not necessarily not want to hear, or is being playful and wants to block out the audio, the child will put both fingers into the ears. Na 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 na, I can't hear you, I can't hear you, na 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 na, blocking up the ears with the fingers. And then when the child has before it something they don't want to see, they will conceal the eyes with the hands. Such as the three monkeys who utilize those three gestures. When we get older, our gestures become more minute and microfied, right? Because we can't act like children no more. What we are is essentially a more indirect child when we grow older, as we still utilize the same expression and emotion and have to express that energy through one means or another. And what we used to do as children, we still do. We just find an alternate, more subtle, more indirect means of doing so, to ensure we're not perceived as childish, as society doesn't want us to act childish. It's deemed wrong. We appreciate maturity and act your age and so on and so forth. So we continue doing the actions the three monkeys represent. When we're speaking to someone and we don't like what we hear, we will block the ears up, but not directly. The hands will raise towards the ear and we might tug on the earlobe, or we might just rub the finger on the inside of the the external ear. Or we may actually brush upwards into the hair just above the ear, using the palm as a soft block to the ear, as a desperate attempt to nullify what we're hearing. Although literally it doesn't work as well as what the child would do, just unfortunately we can't literally do so in the face of communication we don't want to abide with, as it would be deemed inappropriate, childish, as we've spoken of, and I just don't think you're going to be able to make friends or gel very well if that was the matter. The ears and the blocking of the ear can also be used to represent what the brain absorbs through the eyes and other stimuli. So there is favourable blocking actions dependent on whom you are communicating with or who you are. So this is where it becomes quite complicated yet also quite generalised. So you're able to pick up on it and understand it's a blocking behaviour. So there's been an unfavourable stimuli that has entered the mind of that person through one way or another. Whether it be them thinking about something they've done in the past or whether it's something there before them in real time. You have to pay attention as to when it's triggered and what the general condition of this person's body language is, the cluster and the context, right? And the congruency of what they're trying to get across or trying to hear out. So the person might see something they don't like. They might visibly see something before them that they don't like and still react with a pulling on the ear or a concealing of the ear through some indirect means. It's still a blocking behaviour. It's still a means of attempting to block out the information that they deem inappropriate for their brain. They just don't want that information. It's not good for them. Not that it's toxic or poisonous and going to damage them. It just might be unsightly for them. They might not like the thought of what's before them. And it's just a means of, it's a manifestation of that childish behaviour in order to shut out that experience, but do so in an adult manner as to where they aren't regressing fully to, the behaviours of a child. If you're speaking to someone and you say something they find distasteful, they might try to block that information out by an indirect means of covering the eyes. They don't like what they see before them, or they don't like the information they've been given, or they don't like the thought process that has been initiated through connecting the dots in regards to what you are both speaking about, if you know where I'm coming from. So the hand will raise, and instead of blocking up the eye, covering themselves up, they will just rub the eye, they will just massage under the eye, they will just rub the bridge of the nose. You see where I'm coming from? They'll just brush against their eyebrow. It's a pacifying, self-touching behaviour. It's a blocking behaviour. It's a blocking of the eyes, but doing so in an indirect manner, because we can't be as blatant and bold as that child we once were. The mouth. When we're trying to withhold information or we are listening to something we find inappropriate, our mirror neurons will kick in and we'll perceive ourselves as saying that same thing the person across from us is saying. So if we're in a conversation with someone and we don't like racism and someone opposite us is speaking, in a very racist way, we might raise our hands to our mouth, such as the child putting the entire palm across as a way of saying, our subconscious saying, stop talking, stop talking. Whether that's in regards to us not participating in the conversation and symbolic as the shh, or the hand comes as if to portray the message to the other party, you should stop talking. You see? You'll see this one quite often. Now this will be manifested through a rubbing of the mouth, a touching of the nose, which indirectly conceals the mouth. And this happens, I think in particular the eye, and the rubbing of the eye, and probably more so the blocking of the mouth happens most out of these series of instances, in my opinion. I see mouth behaviours quite regular. I see eyes a little bit more so than tugging on the ear and the rubbing of the ear and the blocking of the ear canals. So that's my personal experience. But any sort of self-touch behavior, pacifying behavior, which essentially is just like the hand coming to the face and connecting with the nerve endings wherever it may be, releasing endorphins into the brain, like positive feel-good touching. Feelings to combat stress and anxiety, what they have right there, right now. It's never necessarily a good thing unless you are portraying it in a dating context and you are, you know, sparking anxiety and the jitters into the other individual, you know, because that's excitement, right? So that's the three monkeys. Something to pay attention to. I might go into each one of these with a little more focus and emphasis, but it's just something to keep an eye out for, alright? Have a look at where their hands connect, have a look at what they're doing, whether they're touching the ears, concealing the eyes through some means, or concealing the mouth in some way, or just quite simply touching around that area and try to make sense as to what's happening at that moment in time and why they might be doing so. I'm signing out. Peace.